Hi, everybody. Good morning. Today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. So do you receive my email about this afternoon? We're going to have a study session. The study session is in Snyder 246. Did you receive that email? So you feel free to come and continue to do your practice exam, and feel free to ask me questions like in your homework or in the quiz or in the practice exam. Okay. So by the way, when is our exam? Next Monday. So the practice exam is due. So I want the practice exam due the night before the exam. So then the practice exam is due Sunday. Okay, midnight. Yeah. Sometimes because our schedule might change, if I forget to change the due date in Canvas for the practice exams or homework, yeah, don't worry about that because now my setting is unlimited attempt and no deduction for late assignments. Okay, so yeah, so just follow our like what we discussed in class. But the quiz, yes, if I move the quiz, I need to make sure I change the quiz due dates because that matters. But for the homework or practice exam, the due date on Canvas, that's fine. Okay. All right. So today our plan is continue to finish 8.1 and also remember the blank worksheets that I tell you. So yes, so you will work on that, and then I will see whether you are ready for the exam. But before we start, do you have any questions on the practice exam? Like any problem that you want to go over? Okay, so this afternoon, 3:30 to 4:45, I will be in Snyder 246. Okay, so come if you haven't finished your practice exam, come and do it and ask me questions. Okay. All right. So 8.1. So last time we talked about the graph of sine and the graph of cosine. They both look like wave. Yes, they look like wave. And the sine start with 0. The cosine start with 1. Yes, everybody? And then last time I teach you two methods to draw the trig function. Okay, one way is to use the order of transformation, and then you have to follow this. So you start with the original function, and then you see, oh, do we have shift left or right? And do we have reflection about the y-axis? Do we have reflection about the x-axis? And how about vertical stretch by a factor of c and shift up or down? So that's one way. The second way is make a table with 4 columns, x, theta, sine theta, and y. Okay? And the theta and sine theta columns always fixed. Okay? And the values are, where is our chapter 8? Here. So if you have sine, those are the 5 key points for theta and sine theta. Okay, everybody? If you have cosine, then those are the 5 key points for theta and cosine theta. So the first step, you fill in the values of theta, and then you fill in the values of sine theta, because this graph is about sine. So after those 2 columns, you want to fill with the x column, okay? So what's the relationship between x and theta? We have the angle theta is 1/2 x minus pi, and then you solve for x. Do you remember that? Solve for x. Then based on the different theta values, you can plug in this formula and find the x. Yes, everybody? So you get the x column, And then how do you get the y column? You know your sine theta values. You plug in the y, and then you get the y values. So when you draw the picture, you focus on the x and the y. So you have 5 key points. So plot them on the xy plane and then connect them smoothly. So sometimes the problem asks you to draw 2 periods, and then you just copy and paste. You get 2 periods, right, everybody? And we know amplitude is the absolute value of the coefficient of sine or cosine. Right, everybody? So here, amplitude is 2. And then the period of sine is 2 pi over the coefficient of x in the angle. So 2 pi over 1/2 is 4 pi. And the midline is like how you shift the sine graph up or down by how many units. Okay, that is the midline. So you see here plus 4, that is the midline. Is that clear, everybody? So this is method 2. So if you want to use method 1, then what do you do? Okay, so if you want to use method 1, you start with the parent function sine x. You start with the parent function y equals sine x. And then you follow the order of transformation. Do we have shift level, right? Do you have x plus or minus a number? Yes. So left plus, right, minus. Okay, so here is shift, because it's minus pi, shift right pi units. Then we get y equals sine x minus pi. And then next, you look at, is there a minus sign in front of the x? Yes, then we have reflection about the y-axis. In this case, we don't have a minus sign in front of x. Also, we need to insert a horizontal compress. Okay? Horizontal compress by a factor of b. So if you have your xy become bx and y, so your y remains the same, but your x, you have a b in front of it. Then in this case, we have a horizontal compress. Okay, attendance, thank you. Okay. Yes. So in college algebra, we didn't put this there because the function we learned was like x squared, x cubed. We don't need horizontal compress. Here we need. Okay. So that's why here you have we get the function is 1/2. So y equals sine 1/2 x minus pi. Because it's 1/2 is less than 1, instead of horizontal compress, we have horizontal stretch. Is that okay, everybody? If you multiply by an integer, then it's compressed. If you multiply by 1/2, it's stretch. So horizontal stretch. And then next, you see, is there a minus sign in front of the sine function? Yes. So y equals, formula here. Y equals negative sine 1/2 x minus pi. This is reflect over what? Which axis? Step 3. X, yes. Reflect over the x axis. And also because we multiply by 2. Okay, sorry, I ran out of space. Multiply by 2, we're gonna have vertical stretch. Yes, everybody? And then step 4, we're gonna have shift up 4 units. And then we have this function minus 2 sine 1/2 x minus pi plus 4. Okay, everybody? So this is method 1. Follow the order of transformation. And then you start with of course, each step you're going to have a picture. That's why I said method 1 is harder. It takes more time. So method 2 is easier. You just construct the table, and you get 5 key points, connect them smoothly. So is that clear, everybody? Mm-hmm. So from now, do you like method 1 or method 2? 2? Yes? Everybody like 2? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So this is number 1. Let's continue. And let's look at the number 2. Okay. So from now on, we just use method 2. Okay. So we draw the table with 4 columns. We have x, the theta, and in this case is cosine. So cosine theta, theta is the angle, the argument, and y is 3/2 cosine theta. Yes, everybody? Okay, so first step, we fill with the theta column. What are the theta column values? 5 key points. 0. Do you still have this paper with you? No? Okay, let me see. Do I have some extra? Oh, yes, I have some extra. Do you have that paper? Yes, okay. Yes, so this is the 5 key points. Do you see the angle? 0, pi over 2. Yeah, pi. And 2 pi. How about the cosine values? 1, 0, -1, 0, 1. Yes. So keep those 5 points in mind. This looks like you play the keyboard. Right. Okay, let's continue. So after we figure out the theta and cosine theta column, we look at the x. So the relation here, theta is 2x minus pi. How do you solve for x? Yeah, move the pi to the other side. So add pi on both sides. We get theta plus pi is 2x. Yes! Over 2. So divided both sides by 2. We get x is theta plus pi over 2. Okay, everybody? Yes, take notes. If you forgot to print the worksheets, you can take notes on the paper. And if you miss some class, make sure you watch the recording and ask me questions. I hope you can understand every problem, like in our class worksheets, and in your homework, in your quiz. and in the exam. Okay, practice exam. So make sure you understand every problem. Okay, so now we plug in different theta values. Here we plug in theta is 0. So 0 plus pi over 2. What is that? Pi over 2. Yes, everybody? Okay, how about we plug in theta is pi over 2. So pi over 2 plus pi over 2. What is that? What is pi over 2 plus pi? What's the numerator? 2 pi over 2, but the plus pi is 3 pi over 2, right? 3 pi over 2 over 2. 3 pi over 4. Yes, everybody? Yeah, the common denominator is 2. So that's why you get 3 pi over 2 over 2 is 3 pi over 4. We plug in different theta values. How about the next one? This is the formula. Theta is pi. So pi plus pi over 2 is 2 pi over 2, which is pi. Ah, sorry, I ran out of space. So when you draw the table, maybe leave more space for the x column. How about when we plug in theta is 3 pi over 2. And we add pi, then divided by 2. What is that? Yes. Can everybody see that? So this is 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi over 2 is 5 pi over 2. And then over 2 is 5 pi over 4. Okay. Yes. And then we continue. Last one, we have 2 pi. Theta is 2 pi. And we add pi and then over 2. Ooh, what is that? Yeah, 3. Yeah, 3 pi over 2. So we get the x column. Yes, everybody? We get the x column. By the way, you have your calculator, right? So in your calculator, you can also calculate this answer, but can your calculator show you pi over 2 or it show you a decimal? It show you pi over 2? Oh, okay. So if you have that kind of calculator, then you can just plug in the values, and then your calculator will tell you. Okay? So, yeah. And will your calculator show you? No? You will? Okay. You're going to get a different kind of calculator. Yeah, there's another way. If your calculator does not show you pi over 2, no, this pi is transcendental number. But in your calculation, you can just ignore the pi. So for example, here don't plug in pi over 2. You plug in 1/2 plus 1 over 2. Then your calculator, if they give you 3 over 4, then you just multiply by pi. Okay, so how about that's the third step. We figure out the x column. And then the last step, we figure out the y column. Okay, the y column is 3 over 2 times the cosine theta. So 3 over 2 times cosine theta is 1. So what do we get? 3 over 2. And how about the next number? 0. Yes, we use 3 over 2 times these values. And here, negative 3 over 2. Next, 0. Next, 3 over 2. We figure out all the numbers in the table. Then we can draw it. So we have the x-axis, the y-axis, and then here the biggest number is 3 pi over 2. So we can draw like 2 pi, and then the middle one is pi, and then that one is pi over 2. This is 3 pi over 2. Is that okay, everybody? Yeah, like the last example. Because the biggest number is 6 pi. That's why I draw 6 pi. It's the biggest number. But here, the biggest number is 3 pi over 2. So if I draw 2 pi, that's enough. Okay? Any questions so far? So we get the table, we look at the x values and the y values. Okay, x is pi over 2. Where is pi over 2? Here, right? And the y value is 3 half. Okay, so let's say this is 3 half right here. And then, do you know where it is 3 pi over 4? It's actually the midpoints of pi over 2 and the pi. Yeah? So 3 pi over 4 is right here. Okay, and then what is the y values? 0. So your angles, they follow a pattern. They are increasing. Okay, and do you see each angle values? The difference is pi over 4. So you have pi over 2, you add pi over 4, you get 3 pi over 4. And when you add pi over 4, you get pi. And when you add pi over 4, you get 5 pi over 4. And when you add pi over 4, you get 3 pi over 4. So they always have the same step size. Okay? So pi, we get what? Negative 3 over 2. Okay. Which is that point. Okay. And then next values, 5 pi over 4 is going to be here. And we get, what's the y value? 0. And then next one, 3 pi over 2. The y value is 3 halves. So we put those 5 key points. And then we connect them smoothly. So this is one period. Yes, everybody? Usually the problem will ask you to draw 2 periods of the graph. Okay, so let's just extend. Here, you're gonna go to the 0. Right? If you could continue and just copy and paste, then we get this is 0, copy and paste. And the next point will be here. And then the next point will be here. And then the next point will be here. So this is 2 periods of the graph. Is that okay, everybody? Now, let me ask you, what is the amplitude? Okay, amplitude. Amplitude is what? Amplitude is like how that is amplitude. Yeah, the y values, how many waves are in the movement. So yes, 3 over 2 is the amplitude. Okay, that's 3 over 2. And now, how about the period? Two ways to figure out the period. One way is, what's the period of cosine? X. Cosine x is 2 pi, right? Over the coefficient of x in the angle. What's the coefficient of x in the angle? 2. Coefficient of the x. Is it pi or 2? 2. The coefficient of x in the angle. So we get pi. Okay? That's one way to figure out the period. Another way is look at your graph. What is the difference? 3 pi over 2 minus pi over 2 is pi. So that's why period. Okay? From here to here, that is pi. So you have two ways to figure out the period. Is that clear, everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay, now where is the midline? Where is the midline? Where's the midline? Yes, y equals 0. So midline is a horizontal line. Okay, so y equals to 0. All right, if the problem asks you to find the phase shift, okay, what is the phase shift? Well, you look at the angle. The angle is 2x minus pi, or you can say that's the argument, whatever inside the cosine. Right, everybody? Then you factor out the 2. Do you see you get x minus pi over 2? Yeah, everybody? X minus pi over 2. So this is the phase shift. The phase shift is pi over 2. So make sure if the coefficient of x is not 1, you need to factor that out. Then x minus a number. That is the phase shift. And remember, left plus, right minus. Okay, so you shift to the right. Pi over 2. Okay? What? Yeah, by definition of phase shift. Okay, so here is the definition. So the phase shift is C over B. So if your coefficient of x is not 1, then you have to factor out the B. So you express this angle as B times x minus C over B. Then the phase shift is C over B. So you express in this way. Then you can figure out the phase shift. Okay, everybody? Good. Now it's your turn. So everybody do example 3. Okay. So everybody do example 3. Hi, Jeremy. Leviticus. So now try uh, this number 3. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute and ask me. So that is always theta, right? So theta is 2x plus x divided by 2. It's theta over 2. The next one. So what is trigonometry?
what I get here.
Oh,
And to here.
oh, because your x is theta over 2, right? So it's theta over 2. This is theta over 2. So it's 3 pi over 4. Not that. This is the old formula. Your new formula is theta over 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have pi. No, not cosine 1. Cosine theta is 1. So just put minus 2.3 times cosine theta. Whole thing is 1. All right, let's go check our answers. Okay, so check our answers. Ooh, not here. Here. So 8.1. Yeah, by the way, this afternoon 3:30 to 4:45 in Snyder 246. Come to ask me questions and do your practice exam. Okay, so number 3 right here. So we first fill out the theta and cosine theta values, right? And so we got theta values, the 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. That is fixed. So those 5 key points. And the cosine theta values are 1, 0, minus 1, 0, 1. So these are fixed. And then how do you find the x? Because theta is 2x. Sorry, I cannot draw on here, but I can draw on the board. So theta is 2x, both sides divided by 2. We get x is theta over 2. So the x and theta relation depends on the function. So this will change every problem. Okay, so every problem, your angle might be different, so that will change. So in this case, x is theta over 2. That's why the first one, okay, when you plug in theta is 0, 0 over 2 is 0. And then the next one, pi over 2 is pi over 4, right? Next one, pi over 2 is pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 is 3 pi over 4. And then the 2 pi over 2 is pi. So we get the x columns. Do you get the x columns correct? Mm-hmm. And then the y column is, the y is negative 2 plus 3 cosine 2x, but 2x is theta. So you plug in the entire cosine theta is 1, okay? So we get minus 2 plus 3 times the cosine theta is 1. Therefore, minus 2 plus 3 is 1. And then you plug in cosine theta is 0. Minus 2 plus 3 times 0 is minus 2. And then you plug in cosine theta is negative 1. You see, minus 2 plus 3 times negative 1 is negative 5. And then 0, we already plug in 0, we get negative 2. And 1, we already have 1, which is also 1. So you get the y values. Is that clear, everybody? Yes, once we get the x and the y, we can plot the points. So x is 0, y is 1. That's the first point. X is pi over 4, y is negative 2. So put that. And then x is pi over 2, y is negative 5. So put that. And then y is 3 pi over 2, and the y is negative 2. And then when the x is pi, y is 1. So you connect those 5 points smoothly. Uh-huh. You get the graph. And you copy and paste to get another period. Okay, everybody? So this is the graph. Okay, what is the period? Period is 2 pi over 2. The coefficient of x is 2. So that's pi. What is the amplitude? What? Minus 2? That's the midline. The midline is y equals minus 2. What is the amplitude? 3. Yes. So whatever number multiplied by sine cosine, that is the amplitude. Is that clear, everybody? Mm-hmm. All right. So right now, close your notes. Okay. So practice filling out the chapter 7 formula sheet. Okay. So for online students, you can look at this blank one and fill those out. Okay. Okay. Yes. So close your notes. And 202. Okay. Or oh, okay, right. So no pressure. If you don't remember, it's okay. It's not for grade. But you know the exam is gonna be next Monday, and I will give you this blank formula sheet on Monday. So you gotta memorize all these values on Monday. If you're not able to do that, come to my office. Come to see me. Let's work together to help you. So I told you the pattern, how to fill those out. So yes, come to my office. Friday no class. Okay, Friday no class. I go to the conference. Oh, that's quick. How many minutes? Okay, good. Oh, just 1, 2 minutes. Oh, wait. I thought the relation of the reference C and C prime. Okay. Oh, the reference angle. Oh, the whole sheet is a whole sheet. Yes, it's a whole sheet. Yeah, for the reference angle, write down the relation between T and T prime. Yeah, draw the picture and write down the relation between T and T prime. the angle will be down.
Okay.
So it's T is pi plus T
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Then the rest is U. And here is the
Oh.
1 over that. Right? And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, those ones I got.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. I'm so lost in this. I'm getting
Oh, diagonal. So sine and
Oh, I see.
secant. Cosine and secant. Tangent and cotangent. Just look at the diagonal. Look at the triangle. So tangent plus 1 is secant. And then this one plus cotangent is cosecant squared. So diagonal and triangle. And these are good. And you mean pi?
Oh, yeah.
And this is 2 pi minus t.
Right.
And these okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, this one. Okay. So this is theta times r.
Okay.
And this is 1/2 theta r squared. And this is the theta over time. This is w times r. So practice that. And also write down the formula. Because the key point why you need to draw the picture is to find out the relation between t and ty. Okay, so do that. And let's see the numbers. Yeah, these books be. Oh, here. This one. So the square root of 2. Because you flip it. You flip them, right? That's the square root. Okay. Bye. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. Bye.
So, practice test with that. What about this, like, your work? Does it work to listen to it?
Oh,
I
sure.
submitted
Yeah,
it now.
yeah. After I grade it, you get the new scores. Yeah, don't worry about the score now. Let's see. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
I forgot this one.
You forgot this one? Of theta times r.
Oh.
And this is, okay, theta over t, that, t. This one.
Did I create?
Oh, t minus t prime is 180 degrees.
Oh.
And then, and look at this picture. So t plus t prime is 180 degrees.
Yeah.
And yes, this is t. And this is t equals t. Let's see. Ooh, 1. Yes, it's square root of 4 over 2. So 1. So it's always between -1 and 1. Never exceed 1. Okay. And then
Sorry.
here, yes. So, so this is 1. This is 1. Okay.
When I did the practice exam, what do I have to do?
Oh, you look at the solution and then go your work, write on the scores here, write on the actual scores, and then take pictures, combine into a PDF, upload it in Canvas. Mm-hmm. Let's
I
see.
forgot about the area.
1/2 theta r squared. And that. Mm-hmm. This is square root 2. There's a 2 over square root 2.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ready? Okay, let's see. Oh, so this is 1. So 1 over 1 is 1.
Okay.
And so then this is 1. And yes, so make sure you know the relation between t and t prime. So like these relations.
Okay.
Yes, so we do those.
I see what I did.
I see.
It's the first time I've done that.
Oh yes, so this is 1. Yes, also like so these ones, and then write down the relations. Remember the relations. Then you can use it to find the sine of other quadrants angle. Okay, yep. Bye. Let's see. Yes, so write down the relations for this part. So I want you to write like these, like this relation between t and t prime. That one. Oh, this is 1 over root 3. This is root 3. The values are increasing. So then this change, right? And let's see. And then that one, that. This is 2 over square root of 3. The square root is 3. Okay. All right. So yeah, remember the relation and. All right. Let's see. Okay. Mhm. Good. Yes. Mhm. Okay, good. Bye. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, a couple of them.
Let's see. Okay. That, that. So here,
Yeah.
t prime is always the angle made with the
Oh,
x-axis.
okay.
So t equals t prime.
Okay.
And then that one, yes. And yes. Yes. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Yes, the rest was good.
Sweet.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye.
Enjoy your content.
Oh, thank you. All right.